Another example on how to do these practice taxes and filling out the 1040 tax document. So you will start by finding your name on the person that you are assigned to. And I am going to pull up our worksheet. Everybody will need this worksheet. You'll need to make a copy of it. I am going to complete Melinda. We did Edgar in class, and now we're going to do Melinda's 1040 document. So I'm going to open up her W-2. And I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to open up this 1040 tax document. And remember, we talked about this in class. You need to download this, save it to your desktop with last name, practice 1040, and save it. And then in order to use it, you need to go back onto your desktop and open it up from there. It needs to look like this. It cannot be a tab on your internet browser, or else it will not save your words or numbers that you enter in here. You have to open it in this way. So I'm going to close out of that, and I have my cheat sheet below. I have my cheat sheet printed out, so I'm not going to have it up the entire time, but just be aware that this will help you as you are working through yours. I am going to have the W-2 pulled up, though. All right, so just like we did in class, we're going to go over this tax document. So we start off with some of the personal information. Looking at my document, I see that Melinda is 18. She lives with her parents. She works 10 hours during the week and 40 hours during the summer. So she is not fully self-sufficient. She only works 10 hours a week during her school year. So her parents are definitely helping provide for her. And she is 18, so she is not married. She is single. And now we're going to look back at her W-2 and we're going to get her personal information. Alrighty, so we see in this bottom left corner, I have her name and her address. So I'm going to put Melinda S. Flowers. Next, I go to her social security number. That is in box D, right above her personal information. We see box D says employee social security number. So hers is 987XXXXXX. She is not married, so we skip this next row, and we go to her home address. And right below her name, we see her address. So that is 456 Central Drive. Below that, it asks for the city, state, and zip. She lives in San Diego, California, 92101. And then we can jump down to the standard deduction. We know that she's 18, she lives at home, she is a dependent. So it says someone can claim you as a dependent. We need to hit that. If she lived by herself, we would leave it blank. And again, she does not have any children, so we skip over this and we get into the financial portion. So wages, salaries, tips, etc. And it tells us to look at the W-2, so we're going to go over here. And we're going to look at box 1, which says wages, tips, other compensation. And that number is $12,741. So that's what we're going to put in line 1. Our cheat sheet says that lines 2A through 7 should all be 0. And we know that that is because she does not have any investments. She is not retired, so she is not receiving any retirement. And she is not 62, so she is not getting any Social Security. And she did not sell any major property to have a capital gain or loss. So those are all zeros. Line 8, any other income. Our cheat sheet tells us no, we do not have any other income. And then line 9 asks us to add up this entire right-hand column. Since they're all zeros, we are going to bring down her income. Line 10A through 10C, we know are all zeros because our cheat sheet says so. And because we do not have any other schedules we are working off of, we did not contribute to charity. 10C asks us to add those together, which is still 0. And now 11, again, it's worded a little bit oddly, so we're going to take 9 minus 10C. 10C is 0, so we once again just transfer that number down. And then 12, we get to that trickier part of our deductions. We know that she is a dependent, so we know we have two options. We have to look at the number in line 9 or line 1, and we're going to determine, is this greater than or less than 12,400? 12,741 is greater than 12,400, so we put 12,400 here. If it was less than, we would put, we would add $350 to her income, but it is not, so we put 12,400 there. We do not have a qualified business, so we put a 0 in line 13. Line 14 asks us to add those together, so now we are bringing down the 12,400, and then we have our taxable income. So we take line 11 minus line 14, which gives us $340. That is the amount that Melinda made that can be taxed, is $340. Now we can scroll down to page 2. So we have our tax. This is where we go back to our cheat sheet. This is where it's a little bit trickier, and this is different than Edgar's. So line 16 tells us we need to use this document. So I have it open on this other page. I went to page 60. It says 66. So this is where we are. And now we are going to figure out what number needs to go here based on that 340 that we found on line 15. So I'm going to scroll in so that you can see it a little bit more clearly. And so here we see that it says at least but less than, and we know that she is single. So we're going to find the range where 340 would fall in. And so it is more than $325, but it is less than $350. So the amount of taxes that she owes is $34. So I'm going to take that 34 and bring it over here for line 16. Again, if she had a larger number, maybe she owed $6,020. We would find at least $6,000, but less than $6,050, they would owe $603. But they do not. She only is taxed on $340, so her tax that she owes is $34. And then we look at our cheat sheet again, and it tells us that line 17 should be 0. 18 asks us to add those amounts together, so I have $34. Line 19 asks for a child tax credit. We do not have any children. We are not using another schedule. I'm adding 19 and 20 together, which is 0. And then 22 asks us to take 18 minus 21, which is 34. We do not have any other types of taxes like a self-income tax. And then we're going to add 22 and 23 together, which is $34. And then now for the last time, we're going to go back to our W-2 to answer part 25. So we are going to look, we saw our wages tips, we're going to look at our federal income tax withheld. So throughout the year, Melinda withheld $534.96. So I'm going to carry that number from box 2 over to line 25A. And again, that was $534.96. We do not have any other types of forms like those. So then we add this column up and we have $534.96. We do not have any estimated tax payments that were applied during 2019. We put a 0 there. And then our cheat sheet tells us that 27 through 31 should also be 0 because, again, we do not have an earned income credit. We do not have an additional child credit. And we did not receive any of these other options. 32 adds us to add all of those up, which is 0. And then 33 wants us to add these 3. Again, those 2 are 0, so we just have $534.96. And once again, just like in class, we need to determine if we overpaid or if we underpaid. So we figure out what the difference is. If 33 is larger than 24, then we overpaid, and we did. we overpaid by $500.96. So that's what we would put in line 34, is the difference between those. Again, if line 33 was smaller than line 24, we would have a O amount that we owe the government, so we would put it down here in line 37. Now that we know that we overpaid by $500.96, how much of that do we want back? We want all $500.96. Now that we have this completed, our taxes are done, and we can file, save, and submit from here.